How's it going, guys? This is Holly with Grindworx, and today we are talking about the best-selling knives from Smith & Wesson. You may know Smith & Wesson for their firearms, but they also make some pretty sweet knives. So over the last year or so, these are the top sellers that we've had for Smith & Wesson. So first up, this is a knife that I've reviewed before. This is the Finger Actuator. It's a spring-assisted OTF knife, which basically means it's single action. Yes, the blade comes out the front, but you have to manually retract the blade after you're finished using it. Maybe nice for some people who, maybe there's legal issues with double action knives in your state. Another good reason to have a single action knife is that they are less complicated mechanically, and so they're less likely to fail, less likely to have issues later on. So I've disengaged the safety there. There you go. People love this knife because it has awesome action. Like if you're gonna get an OTF knife, but for whatever reason you can't get a double action, this is a really solid option. It's 8.75 inches overall. It has a 3¼ inch blade, Oz 8 steel. This is obviously a Tonto style blade with a hollow grind and a black finish. It is 6.09 ounces, so it's a little hefty. It includes a glass breaker on the end there and a tip down carry pocket clip. It's got some interesting milling on the handle for some visual interest. The reviews on this thing are great. It's tough, it's rugged, it stands up to a lot of use. So not a bad knife at all if a double action knife is not an option for you. In order to retract the blade, there is a release up there, and for this reason, I would recommend the Tonto blade. It does come in a dagger style, but clearly you don't want a sharp edge up there by your fingers, so you just push the release and then pull down on the slide here. And that re-engages the blade for next use. And then just flip your safety there if you don't want to accidentally deploy it. So this is about 42 bucks on the site currently. I'll make sure to have links below if you want to check that out on the site. Next up we have the 108-4300 Gunmetal Gray Spring Assisted Knife. This is only 12 bucks on the site right now. It's on sale currently. I got to admit, I have a little bit of trouble with this because it is a thumb stud. For me, if I'm going to use a spring-assisted knife, I would rather it's a flipper. Unless it has a super strong spring, for me, it's going to be hard to engage that. This one, it does all right. It's 8¼ inches long. We've got a 3.625 inch blade. This is a clip point style with a flat grind and a gray finish. It's 5.56 ounces, so not too hefty. And it has an aluminum handle with some kind of inlay, and I'm having a really hard time deciding what that is. It has kind of the look of a really fine weave carbon fiber, but it also looks like it could be G10. So I'm not totally sure there. You tell me what you think about that. And it has a tip down carry pocket clip. Next up we have what for me was kind of a surprising one. This is the SWF 606 double-edged boot knife. It comes in this nice leather sheath. This is 8¾ inches long with a 4½ inch blade. So that's a lot of blade for not as much handle. It's 8CR13 MOV steel, clearly a dagger with a hollow grind and a black stonewash finish, which I think is pretty nice to look at. Overall, I'd say this gets high marks for design and just the look of it. It's definitely a cool knife. I love that it's full tang. I like the G10 scales. I like the jimping in all the places where you're gonna hold it. It kind of gives some really good purchase for your hand. I have small hands, so I feel like for anybody with a medium or large size hand, this isn't quite enough handle. However, it does have a good guard and some big sharpening choils there. So with 8CR13 MOV, you may need to sharpen it more often, but it'll be a lot easier to sharpen with those choils. It's 5.98 ounces. So I think this may be a little heavy for a boot knife, but you could easily carry this on your belt as well. And overall, I think it's an awesome choice. I don't carry fixed blades, so I'd love to hear from those of you who do carry them and tell me what you think of this knife. Currently, this is about $24 on the site. Next up, we have this Extreme Ops CK33 Karambit folder, another kind of surprising one. This is only $15 right now on the site. We've got just under 8 inches overall here with a 3-inch hawkbill blade. This is 400 steel. To me, that looks like that's probably a flat grind. And a bead blast finish. It's just a tad over 6 ounces. We've got a stainless steel frame and liners with G10 scales. We also have a tip-down carry pocket clip. This one is pretty comfortable in hand. I really dig this sort of clip that they've got in that hawkbill blade. Kind of gives it a unique look. I do not use knives for self-defense, so I can't really speak to how well it works for that purpose, but it does have a pretty stellar review. I am a fan of this sort of custom pivot, and overall I think it's a really attractive knife. And it is wicked sharp, I can tell you that. So 15 bucks on the site, go check that one out. And last of all, we have something that isn't even a knife. One of the top 5 sellers from Smith Wesson on our site is a pocket baton. This is the SW Bat 12B 12-inch pocket baton. Our measurements say that it's actually 12.5 inches when it's fully extended. Now, deploying this on camera is going to be really tricky. I'm a small person, I don't have a ton of upper body strength, and so I kind of need the downward motion to get the momentum to deploy it. So I'm going to try my best and try not to like hit any of my equipment. Wish me luck. There we go. This is fully steel construction with a black finish. It's 7.4 ounces. When it's closed, it's only around 5 inches. It's got a nice convenient pocket clip. It also has this elastic sheath so that if you'd like, you can carry it in hand. So they've designed that with, you know, hikers and joggers in mind. So there you go, pocket baton. Isn't that nice? $26.99 on the site. So there you have it, our top 5 sellers from Smith & Wesson. I'd really like to know what your thoughts are on Smith & Wesson. I don't have a ton of experience with their knives. So I'd love to know, are you a fan? Which Smith & Wesson knife do you carry? And which of these top sellers do you think is the best? If you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Make sure you're subscribed and hit that notification bell. Thanks so much for watching, guys. See you next time.